A lockdown in Pakistan's capital ahead of what's expected to be a weekend of tense talks between the US and Iran. The hope is to build on the current 2-week ceasefire and put in place a more durable end to the 6-week war. Checkpoints on major roads in Islamabad and a 2-day holiday to keep residents indoors. Additional troops and police deployed, including in the red zone, and that's where major government buildings are sited. Delegations expected to arrive tonight or tomorrow morning. Our U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance will be leading the American delegation alongside Special Envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, as of course the U.S. President's son-in-law, marking the highest level of U.S. engagement with Iran since nuclear deal negotiations in 2015. On the Iranian side, Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi likely to attend these talks. Pakistan's Prime Minister will hold separate preliminary meetings with both sides. Shehbaz Sharif will formally host negotiations, while Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar will facilitate the actual talks tomorrow. Mr. Dar has been involved in shuttle diplomacy throughout this conflict. And Hira Mustafa, who's been watching developments for CNA, she joins us live from Islamabad, while Mitch McCann is standing by in New York. Hira, let's start with you. We heard a little about who will be hosting and facilitating talks in Pakistan. What else can we expect to take place in these talks?
Well, the officials here in Islamabad are tight-lipped. They are revealing very little details to the media because of the security concerns. And what we understand is definitely the priority of the Pakistani government would be to steer the peace talks in the positive direction in order to achieve the lasting peace. Many analysts in the capital who we have been speaking to are telling us that it's likely that the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is going to hold formal discussions with the arriving delegations, and he would be joined by the Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar, as he was a key person who played a very critical role in achieving this ceasefire, as he was shuttling messages between Tehran and Washington. We are also hearing that these talks are going to be taking place in phases. Pakistani government is going to hold separate meetings with the Iranian delegation, and they will also be holding separate meetings in the same manner with the Americans. So it would be indirect talks between the warring parties. The priority of the Pakistani government would be to cool off the temperatures between America and Tehran. They would also like to focus on building the trust between the U.S. and Iran, as we have seen on multiple occasions that Iran says that it does not trust America when it comes to, asking for the guarantees. So it's urging the regional powers, along with Pakistan, to help bridge the gap between the Americans and Iran.
Oh, Mitch, Hira there. Pakistan's role in steering talks towards a more lasting peace. On the U.S. side, what is it willing to give, and what is it willing, or is it not willing to give to get to this lasting peace?
Yeah, good morning from New York. Look, Donald Trump seems optimistic about this publicly, but I think it's important to note that Washington wants this war to end as soon as possible. It's become a huge liability to Donald Trump's domestic support here in the U.S., and the polls are showing that Americans want this conflict to end quickly. And regarding Washington's actual position and its goals here, it has put forth this widely reported 15-point plan. However, the definitive details of that plan still remain uncertain. But at the same time, there are media reports suggesting it includes several key demands. For example, one being that the US demands that Iran shut down all nuclear facilities, that it ends all uranium enrichment inside of Iran, that it transfers any uranium stockpiles out of Iran, and it also wants to for Iran to accept international inspections. It's also thought to include requirements that Iran not export military equipment to its proxies like Hezbollah, and that it also open the Strait of Hormuz. Now, if you consider those points I just raised, that really underscores how difficult this could be. It's unclear when you look at this 15-point plan whether Iran would agree to even one of those points from the United States. And the fact that Donald Trump is sending J.D. Vance, the vice president, to Pakistan underscores how urgent he wants a deal here. But the White House will also be very cautious. They need something that they can sell to the American public as a win after many weeks of conflict in the region.
Oh, Hira, Mitch, they're laying out the points that even on one, there may not be agreement on Tehran's side. What's Tehran not willing to give up? And how is Pakistan hoping to bring those two sides together with, as you say, trust?
Well, definitely, that's a question that everybody here in the capital is concerned about. And we have seen in the past couple of days that ever since the ceasefire has been brokered between Iran and Washington, there are concerns about the ongoing Israeli aggression in Lebanon. Right after the ceasefire announcement by the Pakistani Prime Minister, we saw a day after that, he posted on social media platform X that violations have been reported in the conflict zone, and urging all the parties to exercise maximum restraint as Pakistan believes it's going to derail the peace process. So many in the capital are telling us that this could be a sticking point between Iran and Washington, though we do know that Iran has its concerns on giving up the nuclear program, on giving up uranium enrichment program. But this is also a point of concern for the Iranians. We have seen Iranian leadership on multiple occasions reiterating that they would not come to the negotiating table if Israel is not going to stop its aggression in Lebanon. A day before yesterday, we saw a very strong statement coming out from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in which it was categorically stated that Pakistan, in the strongest terms, condemns the ongoing Israeli aggression in Lebanon. And the point that stood out to me was that Pakistan was urging the international community to play its part, and was also urging them to ask and urge the Israeli government to stop these to stop the atrocities in Lebanon. So definitely it's a point of concern for the officials in Islamabad, and therefore we see a lot of anxiousness and nervousness among the Pakistani officials, and that is one of the reasons that they are not sharing much details regarding what's going to be discussed in these high-stakes talks.
Oh, Mitch, the issue of Lebanon, here linking that with other issues that Iran holds sacrosanct, even one of them would be intractable. But on Lebanon, what are we hearing in terms of Washington's pressure, perhaps, on Israel?
Yes, this is another major issue for Donald Trump ahead of these negotiations, and that is that Israel is continuing these strikes in Lebanon, where it's reported that at least 1,700 civilians have already been killed in recent weeks. President Trump has asked Benjamin Netanyahu to scale back, according to reports, these operations inside Lebanon. But Netanyahu has reportedly only agreed to start talks with Lebanon's government over how to disarm the group, and that he intends for these strikes to continue. That presents a significant problem for Washington because a spokesperson, as Hira mentioned, from Iran's foreign ministry, has said that delegates won't be attending talks in Pakistan if the ceasefire was not extended to Lebanon. Now, one reason given for Iran still not allowing ships through the Strait of Hormuz is this disagreement over whether Lebanon is included in this temporary ceasefire agreement. So look, some huge obstacles here for J.D. Vance and the negotiating team from Washington. Firstly, getting Iran to agree to any of the points in the 15-point plan. And secondly, stopping Israeli strikes on Lebanon to actually keep Iran at the negotiating table. A major task for the United States this weekend.
Thanks to Mitch McCann there in New York and Hira Mustafa for CNA in Islamabad.